So, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Mark Lazelle. I'm the business website director at Healy Consultants in Singapore. I have with me this afternoon Peter Chakarov. He is the sales and business development manager at our office in Slovakia. Peter, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Mark.
I hope I pronounced your name correctly, first of all, Peter.
Yes. With clients, it's much easier to go to Peter.
Indeed. Peter, I believe that you recently completed an engagement for a client in Delaware, in the US state of Delaware. So we're going to talk a little bit about that engagement today. Will you just start off by giving us a quick summary about the engagement, what sort of business the client is involved in, and what were some of the objectives that the client needed from us?
Sure. So this is an important client for me because we have very few Bulgarian clients. I'm originally from Bulgaria, so when we have such clients from my home country, I feel especially dedicated to bring deliverables to them in a timely manner, and they feel satisfied. So fortunately, this was a second engagement with this client. They engaged us first to register in Hong Kong. They traveled actually to Hong Kong, and we organized a few bank meetings, and that was really a month before the pandemic started.
Well, lucky timing, right?
Back in 2019. And also it was a time when there were protests in Hong Kong. So it was double whammy.
It seems like a long time ago that now, right?
Indeed. But they were so satisfied with this engagement that they re-engaged us back for Delaware. And again, it's a challenging matter to set up in Delaware nowadays because the banking is to set up a bank account in the US. It's very special because the local banks are conservative when they do business with foreigners in that regard.
Sure. So what was the nature of the client's business, Peter?
They were dealing with online marketing services, preparation of leads, preparation of online reviews. So it's a very modern type of business that is oriented towards marketing.
And what were their requirements? I mean, why did you steer them towards Delaware? What was specifically about Delaware that was attractive to them?
They wanted to have access to local PayPal. They wanted to have access to local clients through a reputable entity. And importantly, they wanted to publish on their web pages that they have a US address in a reputable location. So that was part of the engagement. For most clients, we have a generic business address that we use in Delaware when we incorporate companies. But this client wanted, for example, to have the business address in a business building that can be easily cited on Google as a reputable location. And that brings us to one of the challenges of setting up this reputable legal registered address in a business building. We provided the client with few options: an address in Dover, in the capital of Delaware, and an alternative address in a skyscraper in Wilmington, which is the business capital of Delaware. So the client chose to go with Wilmington. And for that, he needed to sign a particular contract that needed to be notarized with a US notary. And the US is very particular. It's one of the few places in the world where few US states allow for these notary certifications to be done online.
Okay.
So we set up a meeting with an online notary for the client. He signed the document and send it back to the US legal registered address provider, whom we have worked with for many years. And now they have a really nice address, and when clients see where they operate from, they can be impressed.
Very good. You mentioned there a few minutes ago, Peter, when we started the conversation, that opening a bank account in Delaware is a major challenge, as it is for many jurisdictions now across the world. Will you just elaborate a little bit on that specific challenge and how we were able to overcome some of those challenges?
Yes. Majority of US high street banks require to meet the client in person. And moreover, they even require to meet the client in person within 100 miles within where the company is registered.
Wow.
So that's a challenging process, especially in the times of pandemic. Our client couldn't travel to the US at that particular time recently. So what we did was we found two niche banks which allow opening of a corporate bank account for a non-resident client without their travel. So we gave the client one main bank to aim for and one backup bank. And for that, we prepared a business plan and we submitted to both banks. And fortunately, he was approved immediately with the first one.
Okay.
The first one requires proof of business, meaning examples of contracts with US clients, examples of invoices with US clients. The client, in that particular case, already had done business in the US and was able to supply such substance information, and the corporate bank account was opened quite straightforward. It took about 4 weeks to open the bank account. But on average nowadays, and for example with the second bank, which requires higher minimum deposit of 10,000 US dollars, you should aim for 6 to 8 weeks, sometimes more, to open a bank account.
Okay, very good. We'll conclude our very interesting conversation, Peter, by discussing what were some of the key takeaways for you from this engagement. Was this your first Delaware engagement, or are you an old hand with Delaware?
Yes, basically this was an important engagement for me because of the client had a special place in my heart.
Yes, indeed.
But other than that, I have done some Delaware engagements in the past, which were quite successful in that regard. Delaware is a business-friendly location. It's only the banks that bring challenges when opening of bank accounts for international clients.
Okay. Very good, Peter. We'll conclude the conversation here. Thank you very much for your time, and no doubt we'll speak again soon on another engagement of yours.
Sure, Mark. Looking forward to that.
All right. Thank you, Peter. Thank you. Bye-bye.